Suppose you wake up one morning, stretch your arms, and step out onto a sunbeam. You gently place your foot onto the golden light, and instead of falling through, you stand. Congratulations! You are now walking on sunlight, and physics is somewhere, quietly having a heart attack. First problem, light is not solid. Sunlight is made of photons. Photons are tiny particles of light that have no mass, travel at 299,792,458 meters per second, and have roughly the same structural strength as your average soap bubble. Actually, way less. Trying to walk on a photon beam is like trying to ride a sunbeam with rollerblades. You would fall immediately, and very, very undramatically. How much light would you need? Okay, let's be stubborn. Maybe we can brute force this. Let's calculate how much light do you need to actually support your weight, the force needed to hold you up. F equals m times g equals 70 times 9.8 equals 686. NF equals m times g equals 70 times 9.8 equals 686, and solar radiation pressure P equals 4.5 times 10 minus 6, and M2P equals 4.5 times 10 minus 6 and M2. That's about the size of a small country. You would need a sunbeam the size of Switzerland, and you'd still probably just squish through it, maybe concentrate it. What if you focused all that sunlight onto a single spot? Would that help? Short answer, it would help you catch on fire. Fire emoji. Long answer, it would help you catch on fire faster. Photon momentum is still tiny. You'd become a very bright, very brief meteor. What if light was actually solid? Let's go full science fiction. Suppose light beams were solid, like frozen rainbows you could actually touch. Could you walk on them? Well, sort of. It would be like walking on a giant superheated trampoline that constantly tries to evaporate itself at the speed of light. Also, if light were solid, your entire body would collapse into a black hole. But that's another video. Maybe ride light instead. Spacecraft like Icarus use solar sails to ride sunlight, but they weigh a few hundred kilograms, have sails bigger than football fields, and accelerate at about the speed of a falling feather. In other words, you could technically move by sunlight if you had about 10 million square meters of sail and about a year to cross your backyard. Final verdict: can you walk on sunlight? No. You would fall, burn, or very slowly drift into the next postal code. But honestly, maybe it's enough to just stand in the sunlight and pretend, for just a moment, that you could. If you enjoyed this completely impractical dream, be sure to like, subscribe, and catch your next sunbeam. Until then, try not to set yourself on fire.